A sunny welcome from the Costa del Sol. Now I'm in full-on tourist mode at the moment. We're just here in the land of sunshine, sangria, holiday apartments and over-tourism. And in today's video, I'm going to be exploring the most British towns on the Costa del Sol, starting here in Mijas and then heading to Torremolinos and Fuengirola. There's a problem with over-tourism in the south of Spain. All over the news you'll hear reports of locals railing against too many visitors, railing against misbehaved Brits, drunken lads on tour. You know how it goes. We've all been there, we've all done it. Every Brit's been here. We've all got drunk here when we were younger. So let's find out just how touristy it is in the most British towns on the Costa del Sol. So the first stop today is this town here. It is Mijas. And this is officially one of the most British towns on the Costa del Sol. There's a high percentage of international residents. Now, Mijas has a long history dating back to the Romans, to the Phoenicians, to the Moors. The reason these are pueblos blancos is because originally the Muslim Moorish inhabitants would whitewash the buildings, basically to keep out the sun, to keep it cool. And in recent years, this became sort of the hub of tourism along the Costa del Sol. After the fall of Franco's regime in the 70s, this became the heartland of a burgeoning tourist industry. But in recent years, things have gone a little bit too far. Now, we just made the journey here from a little town outside Marbella where we've been staying. And I'll be honest, we're probably part of the problem. So my grandma, she's owned a flat on the Costa del Sol since the 80s, since 1984. So I've been coming here for decades, really. I spent my childhood summers here on the Costa del Sol. And when I was a teenager, I come out to all the beach bars, to the beach clubs, to the pubs, probably contributing to over-tourism and the reputation of Brits. And we just got out in the central kind of plaza next to the Oficina de Turismo. And already there's probably about 5 or 6 coaches that pulled up in the time we've been here. In the half an hour we've already been here. So you can definitely tell it's a lot busier than the places we've been up in northern Spain. Now, traditionally in Mijas, you would take these little donkey rides that are still here, but I'm not sure how well cared for these guys are. They don't look particularly happy. And because it's such a sort of hilly area, we're kind of above the coastline at the moment on the in the mountains, the start of the Sierra Nevada. And presumably you would take these little donkeys just to get around a little bit easier. But what we're going to do instead is take perhaps the more sustainable form of transport, the modern donkey, as it were. We're going to hop in a little Tuk Tuk and take a little tour of Mijas and see what's happening around here. Here we go, there's a little Tuk Tuk stand just here. Yeah, Panoramic City Tour. Discover the real Mijas, see places others don't visit, enjoy the best panoramic views. All right, vámonos.
Vámonos.
And as always, I'll be joined by Claire's Footsteps, who's going to show me the non-touristy side of the Costa del Sol.
Am I?
Hopefully.
We'll see about that.
Let's go then?
Yes.
Let's go, vámonos.
Well, my name is Noelia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Nice
meet
to
you.
meet you.
Where are you from?
From England.
Which part of England?
Devon in the southwest.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, not many people know.
Looks like you get lots of tourists. This group's huge.
School trip.
School trip, oh yeah.
And you have a lot of British tourists?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many.
Too many.
Right now we have also a lot of Canadian people.
Canadian?
Oh, right.
Oh,
In
okay.
Canada right now the weather is horrible, so
Yeah, I bet.
we go away.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
So loud. Hey. There's so many donkeys here.
Yeah.
Is that how people used to get around on the donkeys? Or?
Nah, well,
No.
before they were used to work in the countryside to carry heavy things.
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
Well, Mijas Pueblo, just the village, is what we call here in the south of Spain, in Andalusia, a white village, because all the houses are painted like that, in white, but here is compulsory. You must paint your house in white, because if not, probably you're going to get a fine,
Oh.
and then you will have to return the house in white once again. So you have no choice, white or white. Well, sometimes from here we can see Africa, Morocco. Right now it's a little bit hazy, but if you see in the horizon like a black shape, some mountains, that's Africa.
Oh wow, you can see Africa. Cool.
Here we are going to see a very complete view from this village.
Oh wow.
And you can realize that Mijas was built on the side of the mountain. So, you know, it's not really flat at all.
No.
Yeah, very up and down.
Really.
How old is Mijas? Do they know?
We don't know exactly. Like, we know it from the 16th century, more or less.
Oh, okay.
But before that, we had the Muslims living around here.
Yeah.
Before that, the Christians, Romans, Phoenicians.
Yeah.
So
Oh wow.
Different settlements.
Yeah.
Everyone's been here.
Yeah, yeah. And these days, are there a lot of expats?
What do you mean?
A lot of like British people, Swedish people moving.
Right now, you mean nowadays?
Yeah, like living here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are
Oh,
many British people.
Yeah.
They when they get retired, especially,
Yeah,
they come
sure,
here. to
sure.
live
Oh, I
here.
see.
Yeah.
Second homes also.
Oh, really?
And in some places of Fuengirola, for example, we have also some Swedish, Finnish people.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Oh wow, so it's
Is
very
it-
international.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it a problem with the second homes?
Yeah.
Because where we live in the UK, they have a lot of second homes as well.
Yeah,
And
I
the-
think
it's
it's
a problem for the
everywhere
locals.
around the same problem.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Especially in big cities, you know, touristic places.
Yeah. Is there a problem with too many tourists as well in Mijas? Or
Not really.
okay.
We live from tourism,
Yeah.
so we
Yeah,
are
exactly.
used to people.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's a problem because it's our work.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say
It's
the
your
only
living.
problem is with the homes. with
Yeah.
the houses
okay.
and- yeah.
Airbnbs. And,
Yes.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
you know, that increases also the prices for
Yeah.
for the
Yeah,
locals.
makes it difficult to buy somewhere.
Yeah.
That I would say that's the
Yeah.
only thing.
Yeah.
But
We
I
have many hotels, so it's
yeah,
like
sure. Stay at the
why?
hotels. Yeah.
Yeah, stay in the hotel, not in the houses.
I imagine though in like July, August, it must be very crowded
Oh,
here.
it is.
Because today is
crazy.
nice, but because it's quite small streets, I guess, narrow
Yeah,
streets. Yeah,
Full of people everywhere.
Yeah.
yeah.
From here, we are going to visit now the residential area. This is called Santana neighborhood, and as you can see already, it's a very quiet place compared to the center. So here we don't have any more restaurants, any more shops, normally almost anybody, especially not so many big groups of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have mostly the houses from the locals. And as I told you at the beginning, they are all painted in white because nowadays it's compulsory, just the law. But before, it was the way that you could have inside cooler in summer. Because the problem here is the heat, not the cold.
Okay.
So the white reflects the sun.
Ah, of course.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
air conditioning.
Yeah. Nowadays, of course, we have air conditioning all around, but 50 years ago,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
There we go, cool little way to see Mijas. We've just come up to this viewpoint above the Pueblo Blanco, where you can see all of the Costa del Sol. So that's Fuengirola.
That's Fuengirola.
That's where we're going next.
Costa.
Mijas
It sounds
Costa
like they're
as well.
kind of
Yeah.
next to each other.
And then Torremolinos is
Torremolinos, I don't know. I think Torremolinos might be behind the
behind the
hill.
mountain.
Maybe.
Yeah. And then
And then-
Benalmádena.
Oh, sorry, no. Benalmádena first in the middle, and then
Torremolinos.
Torremolinos is the closest one to Malaga.
That's our itinerary for today. Mijas, Fuengirola, Benalmádena, Torremolinos. Yeah, interesting little tuk-tuk tour of Mijas. But our tuk-tuk driver was saying that there's a lot of tourism here, but it's not necessarily tourists that are the problem, because she works in tourism. Tourists provide income, basically. They provide money, jobs, opportunities. But the problem in Mijas is the number of second homes, the number of Airbnbs, basically pricing locals out of the housing market and making it more difficult to live here. And that's a problem that you see all over Spain at the moment, whether that's in Catalonia and places like Barcelona, where they have protests against second homes and Airbnbs, or in places like Mallorca and the Canary Islands, where there's just too many of the local houses being taken up by retirees and people who just live here for a portion of the year. Amazing. Muchas gracias.
have a nice day and enjoy your holidays here.
There you go. Tuk-tuk tour finito, completo. And if you're in Mijas, check out Tuk Tuk Tour Spain. A little local insight into this touristy town. There you go, beautiful little mirador. This is your classic kind of Spanishy tourist town. You've got your tapas bars down here selling sangria, paella, various cocktails. So one of the reasons I wanted to make a video about the most touristy towns in the Costa del Sol is because basically I've been coming here my entire life, since I was probably 6 months old. We've been staying just outside Marbella in a little town outside Puerto Banús. And in the 80s, my grandparents bought a flat there. So we've been going there when we were children, when we were teenagers, probably contributing to the drunken reputation of Brits aboard. So my grandparents, they bought their flat in 1984, right when tourism was really starting to kick off in the Costa del Sol. It was a decade after the fall of Franco, after the dictatorship fell. And you could come in and buy up properties fairly cheaply. So they did that in a little village just outside of Marbella that hadn't really been developed yet. Now that over-tourism is such a problem here, I've always been wondering if my family owning a flat on the Costa del Sol is contributing to that problem. And most of the people that live in the flats where they purchased that are now Spanish locals. But for a long time, it was pretty much just British or Irish or Swedish or Scandinavian, German flat owners. That seems to be changing. I'm not sure if that's because people are looking elsewhere, if it's become more expensive. But yeah, that's kind of the personal reason for wanting to explore a little bit more of the Costa del Sol and to find out if over-tourism is a problem, is because of that sort of childhood. I love it. It's like not even midday and everyone's out enjoying cervezas. That was Mijas. And considering it has the highest population of Brits, you can still kind of feel the Spanish history and culture. I mean, it's not like it's overrun by Brits, but you can obviously see the sort of seeping influence of the international community here, and just the high number of tourists, even in the off season. And from here, our journey to the most touristy parts of the Costa del Sol continue. We're going to head down the mountain, down towards the Andalusian coastline to Fuengirola. So let's see what we find. All right, we are now down the mountain and we are in Fuengirola. Right on the beach, right on the seafront esplanade. And yeah, already there's a very different feel to this place. Up in Mijas, our Tuk Tuk guide did tell us that this area has a history dating back to the Phoenicians, but I'm not sure we're going to find much ancient remains along here. It's a nice little seaside town, I guess. It's a good place for a little sunbathing holiday. I mean, it's March and the beach is pretty busy already. Anyway, let's check out what Fuengirola has to offer. So this is a very classic Costa del Sol seafront. You can see you got your souvenir shops, you got your supermercados, and then you've got all of these apartment blocks / hotels, seafront views. They look like they date back probably to the 70s, 80s when the tourism first really started to boom here. Yeah, the seafront just goes on for miles. You got tiki bars and nightclubs and fast food outlets. This is the Costa del Sol. I can't say this is my favourite place in Spain. All the apartments are kind of almost brutalist in a way. There's just like cocktail bars and sports bars and pizzerias. But anyway, Claire thinks she's found a few English pubs, so we're going to go and have a look and see what's on the menu. See if you can get a Sunday roast or a full English or whatnot. And this is the Old London Sports Bar, established 1998. And there you go, classic Spanish roast dinner, carne asada, served all week, all day. 22 euros, not bad. So yeah, you got your English bars. There was a little Greasy Spoon cafe serving up full English breakfast and bacon baps, everything in English, of course. And then you've got all your little gym bars as well. You've got some German restaurants. And to be honest, the prices aren't bad for such a touristic spot. You can get like a pint and a tapas, which is unheard of in a lot of places, for 4 euros. Here you go, the old Spanish tobacco. Specifically says official English tobacco point of sale. So all the English smokers can come here and get their English tobacco. The post office is in English. Oh yeah, you got your English women's magazines, of course. English cigarette sales. Yeah, you can get your Werther's Originals, Fisherman's Friends. You get bounties here, Claire. I don't think you get these anywhere else, do you? In Spain? Bounties and flakes and Kinder eggs.
Yeah, that's weird.
And of course, your cheap booze. All right, we're going to try out some English food on the Costa del Sol, see how it stacks up. I'm thinking of full English breakfast, but it's 1 o'clock, so maybe we'll head in and get some traditional fish and chips instead from the Crispy Cod. There you go, traditional fish and chips. €12 for a medium. Homemade pies, meat and potato, steak and Guinness, scampi and chips. Battered sausage. Love it. It's like being back home, eh? Yeah. All right, we are in the Crispy Cod. What are we going to order, Claire?
Well, let's get a traditional fish and chips. We'll share that. And some mushy peas. Oh, do you want anything else?
Mushy peas, tartar sauce, like that?
Yeah, it can be tartar sauce.
Excellent.
Yeah, should we just see if we can share
I
that?
want to share, yeah. In England, where we live in Devon, we have some of the best rated fish and chips in the country. So we'll see how this stacks up to our local. All right, there we go. Cheers to the Spanish fish and chip shop.
Sauce and the medium salad. Thank you.
Fish and chips.
Amazing.
Brilliant. Thank you. So here we go. We got mushy peas, curry sauce, and then the fish and chips. Looks legit, to be fair. Claire's going all out with the vinegar. Oh, here we go. Curry sauce and chips. You can't get more English than that. Curry sauce is also legit.
Yeah, the chips taste like you get
Yeah. All right. It's run by English people, clearly. Crispy batter. The curry sauce is on point. I think I should do more food reviews on my YouTube channel. Let me know if you want them.
Good fish?
Very good fish.
How does it compare to Crispies?
To be honest, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Clean plates. What was the verdict?
Yeah, good, yeah. I mean, I only really ate the chips and the mushy peas. Curry sauce was curry sauce, I don't really understand it in general. The batter was good. I don't eat fish, but I tried some of the batter. Yeah, the mushy peas were not marrowfat peas, I don't think, which is what we normally have in the UK. So they weren't the best, but maybe it's quite difficult to get marrowfat peas out.
Well, I thought it was all bloody good, apart from the mushy peas. But curry sauce, on point. Tartar sauce, not bad. And the fish, the bacalao. Oh yeah. Just like Devon. You're looking for a taste of English fish and chips when you're on the Costa del Sol. You can't wait till you get home and try out the Crispy Cod. It's got Travel Tramp's 5-star rating for fish and chips aboard. But no, jokes aside, that was some excellent fish and chips. And the servers as well all spoke. They were clearly from England, but they also spoke fluent Spanish. And a lot of the people that came in were speaking a mixture of English and Spanish. Everyone seemed to be fairly well integrated. So it's an interesting question, like how far do you integrate a culture into an existing culture? You know, we always complain about integration in the UK, and you come places like this where clearly you just plonk a fish and chip shop on the coast, not integration. But you know, you got to love a bit of international food every now and then, a bit of foreign cuisine. And in that case, that's what you've got here, your fish and chip shops. There we go, another whistle-stop tour of one of the most British towns on the Costa del Sol. If you're looking for sun, sea, and all the trappings of the British pub and cuisine culture from back home, with none of the terrible rain and weather, this is the place to come. Right now, our journey along the Costa del Sol's most visited, most touristic towns will continue. From here, you can actually take a train line all the way along to Malaga. It's called like the Costa del Sol line. And it stops off at pretty much every major seaside resort along this coast. So we're going to hop on it here and take it to Benalmádena. And then from there we'll be heading up to Torremolinos. There we go. Let's catch the subway. There we go, a quick hop on the train and we're in Benalmádena. So again, this is one of the most touristy towns along the Costa del Sol. And we're coming here specifically to search out a little British pub which goes by the name of Wetherspoons. And if you're from England, you'll know what I'm talking about. Alright, first impressions is that Benalmádena might in fact be more Espanol than Fuengirola. We've just been walking down the high street, plenty of little tapas places, some nice ice cream shops. Of course, we've seen some advertisements for full English breakfast as well, but not as many. But we're going to head down to the beach, down to the playa in search of Wetherspoons. And it may well be a different story on the beach. Now we're back in British territory. We're just a street up from the beach. And you've got here, supermarket. Best British products sold here. Should we see what the best British products are?
What do you reckon the best British product is?
I don't know, let's see what they got.
Walker's crisps.
Walker's crisps.
Will be one.
Pringles. Oh, hola. Oh, of course, you've got your Heinz baked beans, you got your pasta and sauce. Used to do that when we were kids. Super noodles, $3.99. Expensive, you're better off just going to a tapas place. You've got your tikka masala sauce, very British. I'm not sure I'd call that the best of the British products, but it's a selection. Can let everyone know you're English. All right, the beach is just down here. Let's go and see what we find. Hopefully we'll find Wetherspoons. All right, this is more of what we were expecting, I think, isn't it? This is probably what you call the strip.
Yeah.
2 cocktails for €10. Half a chicken and chips for €12, especially Irish coffees.
Indian, Mexican, pasta restaurant.
There's a real fusion of cuisines. Indian, Mexican, pizza and pasta.
I don't know how I feel about this. Indian, Mexican, pizza and pasta.
Amazing. So you can get a burrito, spaghetti, and tikka masala.
Chicken tikka masala, mozzarella sticks, spaghetti.
Absolutely insane. So yeah, curiously, the kind of tourist area seems to be very distinct from the actual town of Benalmádena. And when you come out of the train station, so I guess here at least you can have your pick or choose which side you want. You're on the tourist side, or you're going local. And right now we're going tourist. We found Wetherspoons. Let's see what they got on the menu. The famous Wetherspoons. That's more like a typical Spanish bar, isn't it? Yeah, want to sit in the sun? Over here? All right, so it's not quite Wetherspoons, but in fact, I would say it's probably better. It's a little bit more fashionable almost. The food's almost as cheap. You can get a selection of pies, peas, chips and gravy for €7.50. Or you can get a beef and vegetable pasty for, again, €7.50. Or half a chicken, chips, peas and salad for €9.50. Really not bad. And cocktails, I think, were €5 perhaps for a mojito. So, almost Wetherspoons prices, but considering you're right on the beach, not bad at all. And the sunshine. Here you go, this is the menu. Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There you go, cold cerveza, Spanish cerveza. There you go, you got your Wetherspoons specials. I love the branding.
Thank you.
Gracias. Fish and chips, €9, not bad. Quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and jacket potatoes. This is what I always get at Wetherspoons, tuna and mayo jacket. So there we go, that was Wetherspoons, and I have to say, possibly an improvement on the Wetherspoons in the UK. So get yourself down here if you want a bit of British culture merging with the Spanish. Alright, so that's all we got time for in Benalmádena. We got one more stop along the Costa del Sol. We're going to head to Torremolinos now. And yeah, I've got a good idea. It might be very similar to here and Fuengirola, but let's see what's there. Short little Uber ride along the coast, and we're now in Torremolinos, another of the most visited cities on the Costa del Sol. And to be honest, not much change between here and Benalmádena, it pretty much feels like a continuation of the same city. You've got your apartment style hotels, lots of TUI hotels as well. Lots of, you know how it goes in these tourist places. Swimming pools, palm trees, there's a beach over here somewhere. So I'm not sure, if I'm honest, we're going to get much insight from this place. But we have found a little bit of culture. So this is the Casa de las Navajas, which I thought was a Moorish house. Now it's built in the Moorish style. And obviously Torremolinos has a history dating back, well, to the Phoenicians, I think, like Mijas. And the Romans were here, etc. And the Moors were here as well, before the Reconquista. So this was once a Muslim coastal port or coastal town. And on a clear day, you can actually see across the sea to Morocco. But following the Reconquista, this obviously became Christian, Spanish territory. And I thought for a moment that this Moorish house possibly dated back to the pre-Reconquista times. But I've been informed by Claire that actually it was built in like the 1920s. So it's more of an homage to the history of Torremolinos, of which I don't think there's much left, unfortunately. Oh, hello there. So this isn't actually Moorish.
No.
Just the Moorish style.
1926.
1926. What did the information say?
It's to do with people moving to the Costa del Sol. So
Wow.
in the 1920s, lots of Spanish families started building second homes here in the Costa del Sol.
Oh, I
I
see.
presume they were from the cooler parts of Spain and built homes here to winter in.
Oh, and they wanted the Moorish style.
Yeah, this was the Navajas Luque family who were involved in the sugarcane industry.
There you go, built on the profits of slave labour. Yeah, wow, you can see the kind of very romanticised Moorish style. It's rather lovely though. Makes a change from the, the beach parts. Alright, so that was the Moorish house. It wasn't quite so Moorish. Anyway, vamos pa la playa. Because the real reason the Brits come here is for the sunshine and the beach. We're in classic seafront territory now. You've got your, got your Irish bar over there, get lucky. You've got your beachfront Burger King as well. Got your mini golf, your hotels. So this is the beach, the playa. It's quite nice, very well groomed, isn't it?
It feels quite commercial though.
It's very commercial. Yeah, you've got lots of beach clubs along here, haven't you? Pescadores Playa. Yeah, playa. The Fisherman's Beach. Yeah, loads of restaurants, loads of bars. What do you want? So there you go. That is the Costa del Sol. If you want paella, fish and chips, cold beers, and a taste of Wetherspoons in Spain, then this is the place to come. In all seriousness, Benalmádena, Fuengirola, and Torremolinos, all three of them are pretty much the same, I'm not going to lie. And it's kind of interesting how they kind of merge the British and the Spanish cultures in a way. But it's really just a holiday destination. A lot of the history is gone. There's not much really to do other than drink, eat, and enjoy the sun, which is why people come here. Of all the towns we visited today, I think the first spot, Mijas, was definitely top. If you want to experience a little bit more of the history, take a little Tuk Tuk tour, and learn a little bit more about the past. And there's a lot more going on in Mijas. So that's it from the Costa del Sol. Normal viewing will resume next week because we are continuing along the coast, the other way, opposite way from Malaga. And we'll be heading up a few geopolitical oddities. We'll be heading up Gibraltar and Ceuta, the Spanish exclave in North Africa. So yeah, join us next time for some more Spanish, British and Moroccan adventures.